Distinguished delegates, faculty advisors, observers, members of the Secretariat, and guests. Over the past few days, we have come together from 73 countries with more than 1,700 participants representing countless communities, classrooms, and cultures from around the world. This conference was a student-led, youth-driven global effort made possible by trusting young people with responsibility, giving them space to lead others, and taking them seriously in the deliberation of global issues. And when young people are trusted, something remarkable happens. We are living in a time of uncertainty, a time of deepening economic, social, environmental, political, and humanitarian crises, coupled with rapid technological disruption and fragile trust in institutions. It would be easy in moments like these to become cynical, but we must remember this. The United Nations was not created in a moment of ease or certainty. It was created in response to profound global upheaval. The United Nations founders understood that even in the most difficult circumstances, cooperation is not optional, it is necessary. That is exactly what you practiced this past week, not only through speeches and debates, but through negotiation, compromise, and consensus. This is how real diplomacy works. This is how progress is made. Equal participation is not symbolic, it is a responsibility, and each of you rose to that responsibility by listening across differences, engaging constructively, and approaching global challenges with seriousness, empathy, and resolve. Delegates, real and lasting change is built through collaboration, persistence, and the choice to work together even when it is difficult. What comes next is not only about what was discussed in your simulations, but about what you do after this conference. It is about the friendships and partnerships you carry forward, the communities you help build, and the courage and resilience you show when challenges arise. By choosing to be part of WIMUN New York 2026, you have joined a global community, and by extension, you have chosen to be part of the change our world needs. I hope these past few days have challenged you. I hope they have inspired you, and I hope they have reminded you that you belong here, in these institutions, and in the future we are building together. I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to the World Federation of United Nations Associations, whose stewardship of the UN's mission continues to empower young people around the world to engage meaningfully with global governance. To our conference sponsors and partners, thank you for believing in youth leadership, not as a future promise, but as a present responsibility. And to my senior secretariat and secretariat teams, thank you for your precision, resilience, and leadership. Delivering the largest WIMUN New York conference to date was no small task, and this conference stands as a testament to your professionalism and commitment. Working alongside you over the past 10 months has been an extraordinary experience, and I am deeply grateful to each of you. For me, this conference also marks a personal milestone. This is my final WIMUN and my final Model UN conference. 10 years ago, I began this journey sitting where many of you sit now, curious, ambitious, and learning what it means to lead in global spaces. As I step into my next chapter, it is my privilege to pass the torch to the next generation of leaders who will shape this community with new ideas, energy, and conviction. To those stepping forward, lead with integrity, with courage, and with care for one another. I am confident that the future of these conferences is in very capable hands. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you again, delegates. May you carry the spirit of this conference with you wherever you go next. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone that the earpieces at your seats are United Nations property and must be handled gently and treated with care. These earpieces are not souvenirs. Please leave them at the desks at the end of the ceremony. Please also do not touch the microphones. We kindly ask that all equipment remain exactly as found to ensure it is not damaged or tampered with. Thank you for your cooperation and for respecting the space. I now have the honor of introducing the spokesperson for the Secretary General of the United Nations. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Stefan Dujarric.
Thank you very much, dear friends, and thank you, Savannah. Thank you, Madam Secretary General. And I have to say, Madam Secretary General has a nice ring to it. So we can only hope. I also want to thank the World Association of United Nations Association, especially my former colleague and friend Bill Yodev, who I know has been a driving force to get all of you here from near and far. So, Bill, thank you and your team for everything you've done. And we know that WAFUNA is such a critical link between the United Nations organization and the people referred to in the Charter, we the peoples. So we congratulate WAFUNA on its 80th anniversary. You know, it's Friday afternoon, and I can't think of a better way to end the week, which, like most of my weeks, has been pretty challenging, to say the least, than to spend a bit of time with you. But not too much time, because I think you're about to go and enjoy yourselves and party a little bit after a week of negotiations and resolutions. So you will not have to hear from me too long, don't worry. You know, I often have opportunities to speak to Model UN students, high school students, college students, and I'm always very impressed with your knowledge, your curiosity, your deep understanding of world affairs. And your participation here today, and I know some of you have traveled from very, very far and have spent a lot of time raising money to try to get here. So the fact that you are here and all the time you've spent preparing for these conferences, afternoons, weekends, evenings, all of that is not just a manifestation of your interest in the issues at hand. It is a personal declaration that international law still matters, that human rights still matter, and that multilateralism and the United Nations still matter. You may not realize it, but I think given the time in history in which we're all living in, the very challenging time of history we're all living in, what you are doing and your presence here today is an act of courage, and it is also an act of hope. It's a source of inspiration for me to look at all of you out here today in this hall, because you chose to be involved and you chose to remain involved. And so my message to you today is, do not let go of that courage. Do not let go of that hope. And remember to carry forward this hope and this courage into whatever you wind up doing with your lives after university, after high school, whether you work in the private sector, whether you work in the public sector, at the national level, at the local level, or at the international level. All of these things still matter. So in closing, I just want to thank you for your support, your dedication, and for those of us who are a bit on the older side of the spectrum, we eagerly await your arrival in this hall to help fix all of the problems that we ourselves have sadly left you with. So before that, I just want you to again say thank you and congratulate you for all the hard work, the dedication, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dujarric, for joining us today and for your continued support of youth engagement. Your remarks underscore the importance of open, informed dialogue and the role young people play in strengthening multilateral cooperation. I now have the privilege of introducing the Chargé d'Affaires of the Permanent Mission of Portugal to the United Nations. Please join me in welcoming His Excellency Jorge Aranda.
Thank you. Madam Chair, or should we say Madam Secretary General, Excellencies, delegates, dear young leaders, first of all, a word of thanks to the World Federation of United Nations Associations for the outstanding organization of this conference. It is really a pleasure for Portugal to continue to collaborate with Jamaica in supporting this very important initiative. And it's for me a personal pleasure to, I was about to say to stand before you, but actually to stand with you in this historic General Assembly Hall. This is the place where we come to meet, despite our divisions, to navigate complexity, to iron out differences, and to patiently and thoroughly build consensus. Over the past 5 days, you have come here not just for selfies and photo ops and to show up. You have not come here just to deliver speeches. You have come here to find consensus, to negotiate, to iron out those details, to adjust language, and to work towards agreement. And that matters. Because the world is not always in agreement. The world is in constant change, and as we know, also in constant divisions. These divisions are sometimes deepening, and this is why diplomacy is not an option. Diplomacy is a necessity. So across these 17 simulations, from ECOSOC to the Human Rights Council, from the General Assembly to the World Health Assembly, you have engaged in the real issues that shape not just our generation, but your generation as well. And you have done this precisely by seeking what we need most, consensus. Consensus is not settling for less, is not about diluting ambition. It is about refining this ambition because we are doing this together. And you have, I think, learned about leadership as well, because leadership requires stamina. It requires mastering the facts and requires also the courage to go towards the other, to understand the differences, the courage to stand up, listen, and speak out your opinion. But probably most important that all of this, it requires that you don't forget about all of those who are not here in the room, all those that you are meant to serve, and especially the most vulnerable. This year we are celebrating the 80th anniversary of the United Nations, 80 years. And 80 years of multilateralism, for sure multilateralism which is imperfect, a multilateralism which is sometimes frustrating, but one which is nonetheless indispensable. 80 years, and the United Nations endures because generation after generation we choose to believe in cooperation over confrontation. I've been told that today we have Portuguese students around. Any Portuguese students here? Olá, bem-vindos. Portuguese is not a United Nations official language, although it's the language of the Secretary General, but also of 9 countries and over 300 million people who speak it. But whether you're coming from Portugal or from a Portuguese-speaking country or from one of the 70-plus different countries that are represented here, you know that what unites you is stronger than what divides you. Because despite all our differences, from age, origin, background, or whatever differences we have one thing in common: we share a common humanity. Now, in a digital age of rapid information and instant reactions, leadership demands also silence, it demands also judgment, it demands time, it demands integrity and responsibility. Technology can be of use, but it cannot replace conscience. It cannot replace courage. So when you leave today this room, when you leave today the United Nations, remember the 3 enduring words, the 3 first words of the Charter of the United Nations. We, the people. It doesn't mean we, the perfect. It doesn't mean we, the powerful. It means we, the peoples. And in we, it is also you. So you are a part of the we. For decades, the World Federation of United Nations Associations has built bridges between the United Nations and civil society. And this global cooperation is not an abstract idea. It's a lived practice. We lived it here today. So when I look into this room, I see all of this. I see this courage. I see this determination. I see this empathy. I see here maybe also future colleagues of mine, future diplomats. I see here future innovators. I see future civil servants, future leaders. On behalf of Portugal, I warmly congratulate the World Federation of United Nations Associations. I congratulate you. And may this experience of yours not end here. May all of you think in the future how you can lead and how you can serve. Because leadership is about serving. Leadership is service. And the world needs leaders. Leaders who can listen. Leaders who can build bridges. And leaders who can act with dignity for the sake of human dignity. I am confident that among you, those leaders of tomorrow are already here today. Because today starts the leadership of yours. Because tomorrow is already starting today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your partnership and for your continued support of this conference. We greatly value the permanent mission of Portugal's commitment to youth engagement and leadership. I would now like to introduce the Senior Education Officer of the World Federation of United Nations Associations. Please welcome Mr. William Yotiv.
Thank you. It has been a great pleasure for me to teach many of you online leading up to this conference, and then getting to meet you in person here in New York has brought me great joy. It has equally been a pleasure going in and out of each simulation over the last 4 days, watching and listening to you speak and negotiate the text of your various outcome documents. At times, it felt like a real UN negotiation, like those I have personally witnessed. While many of you were engaged in the process of reaching consensus, some of you took a different attitude. Some I observed said that they had agreed with an amendment that was proposed, but felt that it was more fun to oppose or object to proposals that were being made rather than focus on reaching consensus. And this frustrated some of the delegates that were actively working to reach agreement. Some of you also were doing Model UN for the first time, found it challenging to work side by side with delegates that had more experience. We need to do a better job making everyone feel respected and included. The reason why consensus has become the dominant decision-making process across the UN system is because UN diplomats find the consensus process a more fair process than voting, because every country has an equal voice. Consensus is not possible unless it is inclusive. And so it is critical moving forward that all delegates feel included. And it is something that I will personally spend more time working with delegates to achieve in the future. That being said, I can say over the course of the conference, I did see growth. I saw delegates who felt excluded band together with other delegates who felt the same way and made their voice heard. I witnessed delegates who were shy at first find the courage to lead the negotiations for their regional group. I hope that for many of you this becomes a transformative experience. I hope that a seed has been planted that will change the course of your life in a positive way. And maybe you won't see this change right away, but for some it will sprout at a later point in your life. I hope this will lead you to reflect on your experience and lead you to become a kinder and more compassionate person who seeks to make the world a better place for everyone, that leads you to listen better, that leads you to respect others and see that our differences can contribute to building stronger communities. Diversity can sometimes foster polarization, but it can also be a source of great strength. Next month, Model UN will celebrate its 83rd anniversary. It is older than the UN itself, and it continues to grow around the world. It started with one conference in 1943, and now has become a worldwide movement that has transformed many lives. I hold in my hand the program of my first Model UN. It is dated April 9 to the 12th, 1970. I have held on to this document for 56 years. That one day you will open a drawer years from now and find the program from this conference and look back on this experience as something that made a difference in your life, that sparked something in you to do better, to be better, to make a difference in the world. Learning to negotiate as real diplomats is not a valuable experience just for those who aspire to a career in international affairs. It is a valuable endeavor that can have a real impact on our daily lives. While we may seek, in the largest sense possible, to protect human rights for everyone, everywhere, I am reminded of the wise words of Eleanor Roosevelt, who asked, "Where, after all, do universal human rights begin?" Her answer to that question stressed that the protection of human rights, and I quote, "in small places close to home, so close and so small they cannot be seen on any maps of the world. Yet they are the world of the individual person, the neighborhood he lives in, the school or college he attends, the factory, farm, or office where he works. Such are the places where every man, woman, and child seeks equal justice, equal opportunity, equal dignity without discrimination. Unless these rights have meaning there, they have little meaning anywhere. Without concerned citizen action to uphold them close to home, we shall look in vain for progress in the larger world." Here is where I think the consensus approach has something to teach. It models the importance of listening to each other, to try and understand each other and respect our differences in order to reach consensus and prevent further conflict. I truly believe that the consensus building process that you have experienced here and that drives this organization where we are all today is a critical part of the process of achieving peace. Before closing my remarks, I wish to thank a few people who are so important to making this conference a success. First, I want to thank my colleague, Finn Carlson. Finn? who has done so much to make this conference what it is, as well as my colleagues Georgina and Emily, who have contributed so much to the organization of this conference, all of the Secretariat staff led by our Secretary General Silvana Zamora, who you just heard from, and everyone on the WIMUN team you will be hearing from. Let's give them a round of applause. I cannot thank them enough for their leadership of the simulations. I would also like to thank the Permanent Mission of Jamaica, and in particular, Aika Walter and Wendy Ann Williams, and the Permanent Mission of Portugal to the United Nations, and in particular, Vitorino Melo Oliveira. We would not be here without their support. We also would like to thank the United Nations for allowing us to use these hallowed halls. How lucky we are to be here. For the opening and closing ceremonies, and for our event coordinator, Chris Walter, and all of the UN security officers. Let's give them a round of applause. And last but not least, I thank all of you, the delegates and faculty advisors, for your interest in attending this conference. As Stefan has said, many of you have traveled very far to be here, and we are grateful for your efforts. It has been a wonderful 5 days sharing this experience with you. We hope to see you at other conferences. I wish all of you a safe journey back to your home countries and hope to see you all soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Bill, for your continued dedication to education and global citizenship. We are very grateful for your work that continues to strengthen WIFUNA's mission and its impact across the global WIMUN community. This conference would not be where it is today without you. It is now my pleasure to invite to the rostrum Ms. Emily Mims and Ms. Georgina Komenovska, WIFUNA Model United Nations Program Associates.
Dear delegates, our advisors, honored guests, and our friends. As we come to the close of this conference, we want to pause for a moment to appreciate what made this experience possible. A conference like this does not happen on its own. It is built through partnership, trust, and a shared belief in the power of young people. First, we would like to extend our sincere gratitude to the Permanent Mission of Portugal and the Permanent Mission of Jamaica. Your support, yes. Your support reinforces the bond between the United Nations and young people, reminding delegates that the conversations they have here reflect real-world issues. We are deeply grateful to our partner delegations and organizations as well. WILANT, the Italian Diplomatic Academy, UNA Jamaica, MUN Experience, Educación, the International Schools Associations, and JAMGO-C. We would not be here without you all. Thank you.
Thank you. We would also like to thank our host venues, the Intercontinental Times Square and Westin Times Square hotels, for welcoming and supporting us. I want to personally extend my sincere appreciation to the United Nations, both for the space we are in, but more importantly, for the inspiration to everyone in this room. For generations, the UN has encouraged young people to think beyond borders and to act as global citizens. We have attendees from all around the world in this room, 73 countries to be exact, and we are grateful to the spirit of internationalism for bringing you all here today. And of course, to the people you saw everywhere, our volunteers, to our chairs who guided debate, to our conference management officers for all that they have done, and to the public information officers who made us look really good while doing it. Most importantly, thank you for the hours you gave us before and during conference and afterwards. I want to specifically commend my WIFUNA colleagues, both William Yotiv and Finn Carlson, for their mentorship and support. Savannah Jamora, our Secretary General, our Undersecretary Generals, Diana, Michelle, Maxine, our Assistant Secretary Generals, Andreas, Sabam, Ana Paulina, Andrea, Manuel, Juan Pablo, and the 46 other people who made this event possible. Because WIMUN is not just a place.
It is a generation learning how to lead responsibly and learning how to reach consensus.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily and Georgina, for your tireless work behind the scenes throughout this conference. Your dedication, coordination, and professionalism and attention to detail have been essential to ensuring a smooth and successful experience for delegates and the WIMUN staffing team. Delegates, we will now hear from the leaders who guided your simulations throughout the week. I kindly ask that we hold applause until the end of each brief intervention to ensure that we remain on schedule. I now invite to the rostrum the Chair of the General Assembly First Committee, High School Level, Maximilian.
Distinguished dignitaries, WIMUN Secretariat, esteemed delegates, my name is Maximilian Rote van Deventer. Over the past week, our simulation stepped into the shoes of diplomats in the First Committee of the General Assembly and tackled one of the most pressing issues in global security today, lethal autonomous weapon systems. Through negotiations and at times intense debate, always in the spirit of consensus, we explored ethical, legal, and security implications of these systems. Delegates also debated questions of accountability and the role of artificial intelligence in warfare. But most importantly, we achieved consensus on a comprehensive resolution. Before I close, it's my pleasure to recognize outstanding contributions. The Position Paper Award goes to Saudi Arabia, the Facilitator Award to Sierra Leone, and the Diplomacy Awards to Poland, New Zealand, Nigeria, Trinidad and Tobago, and Zimbabwe. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I now invite to the rostrum the Chair of the General Assembly, Second Committee, High School Level, Carla.
Wait, really quickly. Delegates that I just called, please meet me on this side of the hall. Thank you.
In the GA Second Committee, while discussing SDG 7, something became quite clear. As one of our delegations reminded us, the obstacles to achieving this goal extend far beyond any one country. They are shaped by global markets, historical emissions, skill shortages, and unequal access to funding. Throughout this debate, your words truly mattered, and the way you work together showed that consensus and cooperation are key parts of the solution. With over 100 high school delegates from different countries, backgrounds, and levels of experience, this simulation truly showed what we strive to build in this conference, a place where people feel safe to grow and learn from one another. You listened, you supported those who felt unsure, and you made space for every voice in the room. You didn't just represent your countries, you helped build something meaningful together. And now, before we end, it is my honor to announce the awards. The Position Paper Award goes to Jamaica. The Facilitator Award goes to Zambia. And the Diplomacy Awards go to Japan, the United Kingdom, Malta, Somalia, St. Lucia, and Papua New Guinea. Thank you. You can meet me here for the awards.
Thank you, Chair. Delegates who have received awards, please quietly make your way to the left of the rostrum. Thank you. Delegates who have received an award, please quietly make your way to the left side of the rostrum. The rest of the delegates, please quieten down so that we may hear the speech of our next chair. the Chair of the General Assembly, 3rd Committee, High School Level, Tiago.
Distinguished delegates, esteemed Secretariat, good evening. Although times may have seemed uncertain right now, I believe that this conference and my committee have demonstrated that our future is bright and full of hope. In my committee, GA3, where we discuss policies and programs involving youth, and my delegates work tirelessly around the clock to ensure that the global youth are well protected, educated, and integrated into the national and international political frameworks, I have seen that they are on the right path to becoming tomorrow's leaders. It is with great pride that I announce that all my delegates were wonderful, and I'd like to thank especially my ASG, Andrea, my Vice Chair, Jeffon, and my Secretariat, Katie, for helping me along the way. You all have made a difference today, and I thank you for being part of this very important stage of my life, and thank you for providing me with this wonderful experience, and I hope from the bottom of my heart that everyone has enjoyed just as much as I did. Now, without further ado, I'd like to announce that the Best Position Paper Award goes to Morocco, the Facilitator Award goes to Switzerland, and the Diplomacy Awards go to Nepal, Austria, Colombia, Djibouti, and Germany.
Delegates, in order to hear the next speech from the next chair, please quieten down. Thank you.
Hello, delegates.
Delegates, I would like to introduce the next chair, Chair of the General Assembly, 4th Committee, High School Level, Kyle Bell.
Hello, delegates, both past and present delegates. I am your chair for GA4, Kyle Bell. Thank you. Delegates discussed banning landmines, preventing their production, and safe ways to remove them from contaminated areas. At times, there was contentious debate, but at most times, there was some sort of revolution in the room which brought the spirit of consensus along with a lot of laughter. And for that, I am extremely grateful. While all of my delegates were amazing, though some were more focused than others, I would like now to present the awards. Starting with position paper, the best position paper was by Ecuador, Facilitator Award to Indonesia, and the Diplomacy Awards go to Australia, Lesotho, Norway, Nigeria, and Ethiopia.
Thank you. Delegates who have received an award, please quietly make your way to the left of the rostrum. Okay. Delegates, may I please remind you that we do have to get through a number of speeches. I understand that you are excited. We do need to give a bit of time to our staff to hand out awards. So when your name is called for the next speech, please just wait a few moments before making your way to the left of the rostrum. So I now invite to the rostrum the Chair of the General Assembly 6th Committee, High School Level, Loretta.
Distinguished delegates, strengthening the rule of law is the most powerful tool we possess to fight inequality and safeguard human dignity. Sustainable development cannot flourish where justice is a privilege rather than a right. Today, we call for a renewed commitment to impartial institutions and the protection of fundamental freedoms. By upholding the law, we don't just protect our borders, we protect our shared humanity. In that spirit of commitment, I'm incredibly proud of the delegates in this committee. Your passion for diplomacy and the high quality of your debate have been truly exceptional. It is now my distinct honor to recognize those who have most remarkably upheld these principles. For Position Paper Award, Honduras. For Facilitator, Thailand. For Diplomacy, Korea, El Salvador, Algeria, Cameroon, Russia, and Uganda. Thank you.
Thank you, delegates. Delegates, please quieten down so that we can hear the speech of the next chair. I understand you are excited, and it is a wonderful thing to receive an award, but let's just quiet it down a little bit. Okay? Shh. Okay, I now invite to the rostrum the President of the General Assembly Plenary, Mara Diana.
Everyone. Over the last few days, it has been my truly honor to preside over the General Assembly Plenary on the topic of improving global road safety. At the beginning of the conference, I had asked my delegates to imagine if a news headline would appear about our simulation, what would it be? And for a lot of our delegates and for a lot of our first sessions, it seemed that the delegates who had proposed no consensus were right. However, at one moment in time, everything shifted, and delegates started to actively listen, to understand the meaning of consensus, and to engage with one another. Now, I am happy to report that at the end of the conference, the headline for our simulation would be Green Light for Global Road Safety. This incredible achievement would have not been possible without the tireless work of my vice chair and my secretary that I want to thank so much, and also without the exceptional performances of the delegates in the GA plenary. Without further ado, I would like to announce the awards for our simulation. The best position paper goes to the delegate of the United Kingdom. The facilitator award goes to the delegate of Venezuela. And the diplomacy awards go to Senegal, Egypt, USA, Lithuania, Russia, and Nigeria. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, delegates. Thank you, Chair. I now invite to the rostrum the President of the Human Rights Council, Arco.
Namaste everyone. My name is Arko Jyoti Mitra and I belong from the land of the largest youth population, and it is my honor to welcome you all to the land of diplomacy and consensus. As the Human Rights Council, our simulation was not only engrossed with understanding the intricacies of fundamental human rights, but we were focusing on integrating the future, the present, and the past through the technologies that keep emerging. With that, we did reach consensus way ahead of time and way efficiently, so kudos to all the delegates from the Human Rights Council. Now I shall be moving on with the awards. The Position Paper Award goes to Angola, Facilitator Award goes to Czechia, and Diplomacy Award, in no particular order, goes to Switzerland, Vietnam, Ecuador, and Pakistan. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Delegates, just another reminder to quieten down so that we can hear the speech of the next chair. Thank you. I now invite to the rostrum the chair of the Commission on the Status of Women, Sophia.
Thank you, Secretary General. Esteemed guests, distinguished faculty advisors, dear delegates. I have had the immense honor of serving as your chair for the ECOSOC Commission on the Status of Women at WIMUN New York 2026. Over the past few days, this commission has embodied the very spirit of diplomacy through passionate negotiations, which reflect your unwavering commitment to the principles enshrined in the Beijing Platform for Action. 30 years after its adoption, its message remains clear. Gender equality is not optional, it is essential. The work we advance here today continues a global effort to ensure that every woman and every girl in every region of the world can live with dignity. It is now time for me to present the awards for those whose dedication has been recognized. The Best Position Paper is awarded to the representative of Liechtenstein. The Facilitator Award is presented to the delegate of Nepal. In no particular order, the Diplomacy Awards are presented to Bolivia, Iran, Kenya, Republic of Korea, Turkey, and Uruguay. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chair. I now invite to the rostrum the Chair of the Commission on Population and Development, Juan Diego.
Dear delegates, faculty advisors, excellencies, and secretariat members. During these 4 days, the CPD debated ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being for all at all ages. As my first time serving as a chair, I was deeply surprised to see delegates were eager to learn, participate, and most importantly, actually having the interest in solving the issue. Aligned with that, and after hard work, this outstanding commission approved a draft resolution by consensus. Thanks to all delegates, my vice chair, and secretary that made this possible. Now, to proceed with awards. The Position Paper Award is given to Uganda. The Facilitator Award is given to Israel. Diplomacy Awards go to Spain, Sierra Leone, Malawi, Bangladesh, Chile, and Japan. Thank you.
Delegates, can we have a little bit of quiet in the GA halls? Thank you. Thank you, Chair. I now invite to the rostrum the Chair of the United Nations Forum on Forests, Martin.
Good afternoon. Legacy. What is legacy? It's planting seeds in a garden you never get to see. These words remind us that true leadership is not only by what we accomplish today, but by what we choose to sustain for tomorrow. While the present demands urgent action and immediate solutions, the work of the United Nations Forum of Forests calls us to think beyond ourselves, beyond you and me. Over the course of this conference, you have shown that progress is strongest when we work together as one. In a forum where consensus is essential, you listened, you compromised, and you collaborated across differences. Here, we're not one nation, not two nations, but the United Nations. It's not about winning arguments, but reaching agreement. And through your patience, flexibility, and cooperation, your contributions have stood out during the forum. It's been a true honor to serve as your chair, and now it is time to recognize those delegates whose contributions stood out during the forum. First, Position Paper Award goes to Canada. The Facilitator Award goes to Switzerland. And last but not least, the Diplomacy Awards goes to Jamaica, Colombia, Turkey, and South Africa. Congratulations to all award recipients and every delegate in this forum, and your legacies begin now. Thank you, delegate.
Thank you, Chair. I now invite to the rostrum the Chair of the United Nations Environment Assembly, Maria Fe.
Okay. Distinguished delegates, debate has been a defining part of my life, both as a teacher and a debater, from Peru to Boston to Switzerland, now New York. Now, as I finish law school, serving as a chair of WIFUNA feels like the most meaningful way I close this chapter. Debating has shaped what leadership means to me, taking a clear position while collaborating with brilliant minds from around the world. The most important lesson I've learned is that hard work always pays off, and these past days have been proof of that. From debating multilateral cooperation to address interlinked global crises, to promoting an economically viable, legally enforceable, and inclusive governance system, we reach a compelling conclusion. We must stop seeing the United Nations as a distant institution and instead recognize it as a concrete framework for action. It is my honor to now announce the awards. The Position Paper Award goes to India. The Facilitator Award goes to Namibia. The Diplomacy Awards goes to Indonesia, China, Tanzania, Saudi Arabia, Sweden, and Vanuatu. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I now invite to the rostrum the Chair of the World Health Assembly, Max.
Okay, hi everybody, how are you guys? Hello, all participants. Please quiet down for a second. Hello, WIMUN and the organizing team. I'm hoping that all of you are having a wonderful end to the conference. This year, I had the honor to be the chair of the World Health Assembly, which discussed the very prevalent topic of digital health and AI. Before anything, I want to thank the organizing team. I believe that sometimes we do take everything around us for granted. But these people teach us to debate and teach us to change the world, and that is nothing short of extraordinary. I also want to quickly thank my delegates. I cannot be more thankful and truthful when I say that the respect, patience, and especially teamwork that they put into this conference is unprecedented. You all deserve the world, but for now, hopefully my gratitude and thanks will do. I also want to give a quick thank you to my Vice Chair Irma, my Secretary Raja, and my ASG Juan. The three of you had my back every step of the way, and thank you so much for sticking by me. Now for the moment my delegates have been waiting for patiently, the prizes. Again, please don't celebrate until the end so everybody can hear their delegation. The prize for the best position paper goes to the delegation of Australia. The prize for the facilitator prize, goes to Jiwen Hu from the delegation of Peru. The diplomacy awards go to the Czech Republic, the Republic of Rwanda, the People's Republic of China, the Federative Republic of Brazil, and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, delegates. Could we have some silence in the GA Hall so that we can hear the next speech? Thank you. I now invite to the rostrum the chair of the International Labour Organization High School Level, Ty Thomas.
Madam Secretary General, delegates, and distinguished guests. Delegates worked to promote decent work in the care economy by working through a tripartite structure that included governments, workers, and employers across the UN member system. The work for promoting decent work in the care economy is far from over, but the ILO took an important first step in bringing about a better future for millions. And delegates, take what you learned in our simulation and apply it in your daily lives. Because like the ILO, real progress depends on sustainable collaboration from governments, employers, and workers long after debates end here. I had the pleasure of recognizing delegates who went above and beyond. For our position paper award, it goes to the Canadian government. Our facilitator award goes to the Brazilian worker representative. Our diplomacy awards go to the Brazilian government, Cote d'Ivoire government, Thailand employer, United Kingdom employer, Canadian employer, Cuba employer, Brazil employer, and Thailand government. Thank you all, delegates.
Thank you, delegates. For the next awards, please remain in your seats just for a little bit to give our team some time to distribute the certificates and awards. I would now like to invite to the rostrum the chair of the General Assembly First Committee, University Level, Navin.
Wow. Good afternoon, delegates. My name is Navin. I'm from London in the United Kingdom, and I had the absolute pleasure of being the chair for GA1 University. Our topic was definitely a controversial one, the prevention of an arms race in outer space. But you know what? My delegates made it seem like it wasn't even contentious. They showed a truly inspiring level of diplomacy and inclusion, and I'm so proud of every single one of them. But I must give a huge shout out to my secretary, Anastasia, and my vice chair, Giga. Thank you both for, clap indeed. Thank you both for making this simulation run as smoothly and as fun as it did. Now, WIMUN New York is always a high-action conference. Whether it's the sheer number of delegates present, the unbelievably freezing weather, making random runs to McDonald's or Smashburger, or hosting the global experience and getting a room full of kids to scream like crazy. It's the people that make it. So thank you, delegates, and thank you to the staffing team for making this such an incredible experience. But alrighty, let's get to the awards. For GA1 University, the position paper award goes to the delegate of Algeria. The facilitator award goes to the delegate of Sweden, and the diplomacy awards, they go to the delegates of Iran, Nicaragua, Honduras, and Austria. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. I now invite to the rostrum the Chair of the General Assembly Second Committee, University Level, Rati.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rati, and I hail from beautiful country of Georgia. Over the past 2 days in my committee, we debated the implementation of the Sendai framework not as an abstract document, but as a living commitment to reducing risk. And finally, we understood that reducing risk reduction is not only about reacting to crisis. It is about preventing them. Consensus was difficult, but extraordinary understanding of diplomacy and cooperation from our delegates made it finally achievable. I thank every single one of you for this, but the work does not end with writing the resolution. It only begins here. I also want to thank my objectively best secretary, Luke. And before we go to awards, I want to tell you that exactly 9 years ago, I was sitting right there as a delegate, thinking standing on this stage was a dream unreachable. So I want to ask of every single one of you in this GA hall, please keep fighting for your dreams, no matter how distant they may seem. Okay? Thank you. Now, let's move to awards. The Best Position Paper Award goes to Delegate of Mauritius. The Best Facilitator Award goes to Delegate of Australia. And Diplomacy Awards go to delegates of Germany, Ecuador, Pakistan, and Belgium. Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank you, delegates. Please quieten down so that we can hear the message of the next chair. Thank you, delegates. I now invite to the rostrum the chair of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, RIDI.
Distinguished dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear young delegates. In 1925 Geneva, the international community resolved that never again shall chemical weapons be used in war. 100 years on, we celebrate the most important and widely ratified multilateral instrument of disarmament. However, with emerging technologies and the increasing threat of non-state actors, the future seems challenging. The OPCW simulation here at WIMUN met against this backdrop to discuss the looming threat of reemergence of chemical weapons. But I am elated to say that the delegates managed to get through the challenges with an adequate load of consensus munitions, the kind of diplomacy which unfortunately is rare in today's world. Undeterred by the weight of being the first accurate OPCW simulation anywhere in the world, I am proud to say that the delegates managed to pass a decision in record time. And we couldn't have managed to do that without the support of my bureau members, Vice Chair Khalid Al-Mishal and Secretary Marika Adam. Finally, and most importantly, let me thank my delegates for their working in spirit of cooperation and collaboration. To recognize their efforts, we have a Position Paper Award, which goes to Delegate of Spain, a Facilitator Award, which goes to Delegate of Saudi Arabia, and 6 Diplomacy Awards, which in no particular order goes to Cuba, Albania, Venezuela, Romania, Estonia, and Jamaica. Thank you, delegates, and have a great evening ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Delegates, just a little bit of silence, please. Thank you. I now invite to the rostrum the chair of the International Labour Organization University Level, Jimena.
Madam Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, over these 3 days, we witnessed something extraordinary. Every single delegate in this room contributed to what we built together. You came prepared. You listened deeply. You challenge ideas without attacking people. You build bridges when it would have been easier to build walls. Each of you traveled from different corners of the world to stand in this hall. You left behind what was familiar. You crossed borders, time zones, language, and cultures. That is not a small thing. It is brave to listen when you disagree, and it's especially brave to believe that cooperation is still possible in a world that often suggests otherwise. This committee worked because all of you showed up. not just physically, but with intention. You did not just represent your countries, you represent the possibility that when we come together, across oceans, across differences, across histories, we can build something stronger than divide us. That is what leadership looks like, and it was give us hope. Thank you to Ben, to Caroline, and to Juan for helping me bring this simulation to life. Now, it is my privilege to give the award for Ala University. Best position paper goes to Montenegro government. Best facilitator goes to China employer. Diplomacy awards goes to Ukraine government, Brazil government, Montenegro worker, Ukraine worker, Sri Lanka worker, Barbados worker, UK employers. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Chair. So please join me in congratulating all award recipients. Thank you to all chairs for your leadership, professionalism, and commitment to consensus building. Delegates on the left, please quieten down. Thank you. I would also like to thank delegates, please quiet. Thank you. I would also like to thank the high school secretaries from the Kennedy International School and the 4 secretaries of the university simulations. Secretaries, please stand so that delegates can see you. Please join me in congratulating them. I now invite all of you to turn your attention to the screens for the official WIMUN New York 2026 closing video.
Let this conference be a starting point, not just for debate, but for action beyond it. Delegates, 10 years ago I sat where you sit today. Over the coming days, you will create moments that you may not yet realize will shape your future, just as WIMUN shaped mine. And so again, welcome to New York, welcome to the heart of global diplomacy, welcome to WIMUN New York 2026.
Working in WIMUN teaches you something very important. Leadership isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's about noticing what matters. It's about choosing to use your skills so others can be heard. It's about building understanding before chasing attention.
So here's our challenge to you. Use your voice. Use it with care. Use it with courage. Tell your story and make room for other people's stories too.
Share those moments. Share the ideas. Share the journey you're about to begin. This is your conference. This This is your voice, and this is a story worth telling.
No objection. It is so decided. The draft agreed conclusions is adopted.
A huge thank you to the videography team, Aurelian, Eunice, Laura, and Nate, whose creativity and dedication brought the WIMUN New York 2026 closing video to life. Thank you for capturing not just the moments of this conference, but its spirit. I now invite to the podium the Senior Program Officer of WFUNA, Mr. Finn Carlson.
Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon. It's great to see all of you here. Thank you for joining us in New York. WIMUN has existed since 2014. I was a student volunteer the very first year we ran WIMUN with just under 200 participants in Rome. In 2015, WIMUN moved here to New York, and it's taken us across various continents, from India to Brazil to Singapore. We've hosted also programs in Geneva and, of course, here in New York City. We have welcomed countless of participants over the years, and I'm so happy that you are part of our WIMUN cohorts. That being said, unfortunately, all good things have to come to an end eventually. I've personally been, as said, involved with WIMUN for 10 years, so this is tricky news to share with you and a little bit difficult. But unfortunately, this will be our last ever WIMUN conference. We appreciate that all of you have been part of this journey, that you are making history with us as we are saying goodbye to our last WIMUN cohort. Thank you for being with us, and I hope our paths cross again at some point. Thank you. Wait, guys, I forgot the most important part. WIMUN might be leaving, but we're going to be back under a different name as WIMUN becomes the global model UN as of our next conference. With this change, we have aligned the name of our program with some of our other conferences. And we're not only looking forward to welcoming you to the Global Model UN in the future, but also to the Global Model WHO, as well as the Global Model FAO. And we hope to be adding more programs to this in the future. I have a few dates to share with you for some of our upcoming programs. Most notably, our next conference will be Global Model UN Singapore, which will take place from August 11 to 15 at Suntec Convention Center. And we will be hosting, together with the World Health Organization, the Global Model WHO in Geneva, as well as together with the Food and Agriculture Organization, the Global Model FAO in Rome later this year. Registrations for Global Model UN Singapore are already open, and we hope that you will be able to join us there. One last piece of news that I have for you. because we're all here in New York, I wanted to share this piece of news with you early. Of course, I hope we'll be able to meet again in Singapore, in Rome, or in Geneva. But if not, I hope that we'll be able to meet here at the very latest again in 12 months. And as we get ready to welcome you for the Global Model UN New York 2027 from February 11 to 15. So see you there. Safe travels home. Thank you for being here. And until we meet again at the Global Model UN. Thank you.
Gosh, Finn, you had me worried for a second there. But thank you. Thank you for your leadership and for the confidence you place in young people to step into responsibility. Your stewardship has ensured that WIMUN remains not only impactful, but purposeful for every delegate and secretariat member who takes part. We are especially excited for what comes next, the next transition to Global Model UN and the upcoming conferences that will expand this community and elevate its global reach. Delegates, we now move to the presentation of the Best Delegation Awards, recognizing those who made outstanding contributions to consensus building and cooperation during each simulation session. I invite Mr. Bill Yodev and Mr. Finn Carlson to the rostrum to present the awards.
Hello again. That was quick. So, as Savannah said, our delegation awards are the most important awards that we give at our conference. It's a set of awards to reward those delegations that have performed the best consistently across all simulations. Many of you have taken home diplomacy awards, facilitator awards, and position paper awards. And the delegation awards are here to recognize those delegations that have contributed the most to consensus and have played a vital role in achieving resolutions and passing them by consensus in all the different simulations. We will read them one by one. We invite, if your delegation wins a delegation award, we invite you to join us on the right with the entire delegation. Quietly, please, okay?
Okay, shh. The small delegation award for high school goes to UNA Georgia School Network.
Please feel free to quietly make your way to the front. The award for the best small university delegation goes to Westside Christian College.
It is my great pleasure to announce the Best Large High School Award goes to MISC Schools.
And last, if I can have your attention for one last award, please. For those who have won awards, I know you're excited, but please remain quiet for just a moment. For our last delegation award, the Best Large University Delegation comes from MUN Laws. Congratulations to all award winners.
Thank you. This concludes our award ceremony. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you again.
Congratulations again to all award recipients. These awards recognize not only excellence, but collaboration, leadership, and the willingness to engage in dialogue in the spirit of consensus. For those who received awards but haven't received a certificate, please meet your chair at the front desk in the Intercontinental Hotel at 7 p.m. Delegates of WIMUN New York 2026, thank you. Thank you so much for this week. Thank you for the dedication, the ideas, and leadership you brought to this conference. May the work you began here carry forward beyond these walls. I wish you safe travels and a smooth journey back home and every success in what comes next. I now declare the WIMUN New York 2026 conference closed.
All right, guys, have a great night home. We got to head out. So have safe travels, good night, and see you in 2027.